Good morning, guys. Good morning. So y'all may hear some noise in the background. That's my broke best friend playing with cars and just being a kid. But because he's here with me, I have to um, move forward. You can't let. Yes, guys, I finished on my hair. It's a lot of braids up here, but they finished. So yesterday we ended with um talking about my dad and how I gave up on my children and how I didn't care about anything, practically just gave up. And I didn't give up on just life. Like, I gave up on being around people. I wanted to be around who I wanted to be around. And I think a lot of what I was thinking was I wanted to be around a male figure because at the time I was with a female who I had been with um, for 9 years. And my dad at first wasn't so happy with that decision. Um, but after a while, it grew on everybody. And when I told my dad I wanted to come home because at this point, things were just getting overwhelmed for me. And I just wanted to go home. My dad was honest with me and told me, no, I can't come home. I need to stay where I'm at. Even if we have to be roommates, I need to just stay where I'm at. So that's what I did. I eventually moved out the same bedroom. Um, and we, coexist until I decided to move out. We decided to move out. Sorry. We decided to move out, and that's what we did. And we went our separate ways. She moved into her place. I moved into my place. I still was going over to her place, and I was still running girls away. And it was one of those, I don't really want to be in a relationship with you, but I don't want to give up what we had because she was the only one that has ever made me feel like a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to be a woman of the house. That's what she made me feel like. So I didn't want to give that part up. Eventually, I didn't have no other choice. It was what it was. So once I got into my own place, um, I used to get on. Y'all remember Facebook? Not Facebook, MySpace. And I had met this person on MySpace that lived in Milwaukee. We hit off in the beginning. You know how people put on a facade that they are who they are. I mean, that they are one thing, but once you get to know them, you kind of find out other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I like about you. You know what I'm saying? And then as you get further, it's like, oh my God, who are you? Like, you know. So it was one of those situations. It just became like, who are you? You were so sweet at first. You used to compliment me all the time. You used to, you know what I'm saying? You used to be on it with me. You used to make me feel good, And he turned controlling. And one day he decided that it was Thanksgiving time. I had just got my hair did. And we went to the grocery store to get the remaining items that I needed to cook dinner with. And he parked at the back of the parking lot, like facing me. So when I come out the store, he could see me. The purpose in doing that, so I thought it was so you could pull up. Okay. I feel like you could get out and you can help me put the grocery in the truck. And I feel like you're eating, so why not help? Where's your contribution at? You know what I'm saying? At least just help me. He never moved. And I didn't want to walk in the rain and mess my hair up. So, of course, he went on and came to me. I put all the stuff in the truck. I get in the truck. It's normal nagging and who you think you is, and you could have walked back there to the truck, and it turned out to like a narcissistic type of person. Like it was all about self. And at the time I didn't know what a narcissist was. I didn't know what narcissistic ways were. I just knew that he fussed a lot. He liked stuff his way. Like he'll tell you he hungry, like this what he want for dinner, but he want dinner done by 2 or 3. And then you go to work, and then you come home late at night, and now I'm making bacon and tomato sandwiches. Like that's the purpose for dinner. You the one wanted this so early. That has nothing to do with me. Go buy you something to eat or something, or go make you a cold cut sandwich, or how about go eat leftovers? Like I don't get it. That always turned into an argument, always. So I remember one day I had back in the day when swine flu and H1N1, when that was real big. They didn't do like whole crisis thing like they did with Coco. They didn't do that. Okay, even though H1N1 was killing a lot of younger people. Okay, it wasn't really killing older people. It was killing a lot of younger people. And I had got swine flu. So in the midst of me having swine flu, his daughter was at my house. And I called him and told him, I'm finna go to the hospital. I don't feel good. The girls are here. When you get off work, you could just come knock on the door or whatever, and they'll let you in. Instead, he went home. And then he told me that it seems like every time he leave me by myself, I end up getting sick. And I'm like, what? That just sounds stupid to me. It is. So then he goes on to say, yeah, I asked some people in 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 the bar about, you being sick, calling the cab, woo 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 woo. They confirmed it with me that you was cheating. I'm cheating. Okay. I'm cheating with your daughter at my house. I'm cheating. I'm a bad mother sucker. You know what I'm saying? To be doing that, yeah, I got it going on. I got a lot of nerves. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole lot of nerves. the whole thing was I wasn't cheating. I was really going to the doctor. So when I went to the hospital and when I got back to the house, I called him and I said to him, tell your friends that I cheated on you with swine flu. Yeah, I cheated on you with swine flu. Well, why you ain't call me to go get your medicine? Woo, 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 woo. My sister took me. Oh my God, that was a big deal. That was the biggest deal in the whole wide world. I still was cheating. All right, all right. When I was telling y'all about that Thanksgiving story, what I didn't tell y'all is when we got to the house, I'm having my kids unload the car or the groceries because I always feel like if I do the shopping, y'all get the stuff out the car. Y'all kids, y'all can handle it. Y'all, this man punched me in my face in front of my kids. That wasn't going down. I fought back, of course. You know, he a man, but still, you gonna finna just push me, that hit me, and I fall down in the snow. We both finna go tumbling down. Yeah, and people finna know you was in the fight. Yeah, you're gonna have scratches. You are, cause I'm going straight for that. Like, what you thinking? Are you? That's my question. Are you thinking? Because it don't seem like you're thinking. But okay, we ended that, and it wasn't even Thanksgiving. It was Christmas. Because I remember my children crying to me that they wanted him to come back because he had did Christmas for them. He had did Christmas with them. And they wanted him to come back so they could get their Christmas gifts. Kids being kids. So he came back. He was skeptical because I called my family and I gave his license plate to my brother now. Because you ain't never finna play with me. I don't know what you think. You is never, not never, ever, ever gonna play with me like that. We don't do that. I've been through enough abuse in my life that I'm not, I wasn't finna let another put their hands on me. I started in an abusive relationship when I was 12 years old. He was 16. For 6 years that went on. And it got to a point where I was just asking the person to just take me in the house. Do not fight me outside. You know what I mean? And my in my upbringing, I tied violence into love because people be violent with you and people do violent things to you and verbally abuse you as well as physically abuse you, but then they treat you to something nice. So yeah, I tied them in altogether, and for a long time, I felt like if you didn't love me, you wouldn't hit on me. Messed up way of thinking, right? But that's how I was thinking. I don't. I mean, I didn't have no other way to think. That was the way I had to think. You know, I was brought up that way. So, um, I met another young man on now let's it's Tag, which is a dating site as well. And I met a young man on there, and we were talking for 8 months. I was ready to make a change, and I wanted to get a job because I was just tired of asking people for stuff, and I was tired of living on welfare. So I called a job down here in Decatur um, to see if I can get the job, because if I could get the job, I was going to leave. But all this was in mind, with him in mind, because I had never heard of Decatur. Me going somewhere where I didn't know anyone, he was the only person that I knew. So I left my children behind, and I just took my clothes and left. Kind of like the worst mistake. Kind of. It was abusive. The first night was abusive, and it continued. And then it rolled down to my children. And then my children was being video recorded, getting out the shower. And then I didn't call the police. And then I ended up with a black eye. I walked around with this black eye for like a month because I'm so light, and it took so long for this black eye to leave. He would do things like take the phone out the house. If he didn't take the phone receiver, he took the batteries out the phone so that I couldn't use them. He took the internet cords so that we couldn't use them. Like, my children wanted to get on the internet, you know. They like getting on the internet. They wanted to get on the internet. That was my purpose for having the computer, so my children could get on the internet. And he literally took over the internet. Like, they couldn't get on the internet because he needed it to play his game. Come to find out, the whole time my kids is in the living room, he in the bedroom watching porn. So I'm steady trying to figure out why my cable bill $900, the first bill. Yeah, it was full of porno. So we moved into a different house, and I had a computer room. So that way, when you want to get on the computer, you go in the computer room. You can't move it around. You know what I'm saying? So that was to eliminate that. You can't move it around or none of that. So he would go in there and get on the computer, but then my children will go in there behind him and get on the computer, and the first thing that pop up is porn. Y'all, that was really embarrassing. It was really embarrassing on my behalf because I didn't leave the relationship. I stayed in that relationship. Me and my children lived in a domestic violence shelter, and he still just won't stop trying to get to me. That was his goal. So he would do things like stalk me. He would pop up at the shelter and just sit there, and they were trying to get me to they were trying to get me to press charges and get a restraining order. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't going to do it because that's all I knew. His family is how I got around. His mother, his father, his sister, his brother, they are the ones that got me around. when I first moved here. I didn't know how to catch the bus, neither did I want to learn how to catch the bus at the time. So they made sure that I got everywhere I needed to go, work, doctor's appointments, times I didn't have to stay in the hospital with my children or whatever, with stay for myself. They was there to pick me up, you know. So I didn't want to, mess that up, and I'm sure his family was helping me because of him. His mother told me to run. She said I deserve something better. But of course, when you know everything and you in love, that stuff don't matter. You don't hear that stuff, and I ain't run. I finally broke loose from that relationship because in 2010 I took really, really sick. And I kept going to the hospital down here. And they kept sending me home with steroids and inhaler medication. And I was going to go visit my family in Chicago because I was going to cook. I'm the cook of the family. So I was going to cook for Christmas. And I couldn't breathe. I was struggling to breathe. I had been struggling to breathe for about a month. And I couldn't breathe, but I was going to get this breakfast done. So I did go to the emergency room that night. I did go. And they wanted me to stay. And I told them, I said, I'll be back. I have to go finish this dinner for my family because that's what they wanted me to do. But I will be back. So I kept fighting and kept fighting. I was getting on my treatment. I finally got dinner done. It was like 5 o'clock in the evening. And by that time, I was exhausted because I'm trying to breathe and I'm trying to cook. And if you got asthma or COPD, you know that it is draining to breathe. When you can't breathe, it becomes draining because it takes so much out of you to just try to catch your breath. So I was going through the motions. Every few seconds, I would need to sit down. So everything was done. Everybody came over. Everybody ate. We all sitting around talking or whatever. And I just bust out, call 911. So everybody looking at me, you know, and I remember them taking me out to the ambulance. And I remember at one point I was in the hospital and I turned around because I kept yelling at the nurse, asking the nurse not to leave me. Just rub my back, don't leave. And she kept saying, ma'am, I got other patients that I need to get to. And I was telling her I didn't care about those patients. I just needed her to rub my back so that I could calm down because I really couldn't breathe. She stayed with me. I turned around and looked behind me. It was two doctors behind me, I think. And I told them two doctors that I needed some help. And they was asking me, so you need help? I said, yes, I need some help. But my daughter said I called her and told her that I was finna come home. And when they made it to the hospital, they had already put me on life support. So now my daughter is confused because she feel like how did something go wrong? And she just told me to come and get her. So the doctor was just saying, well, she'll more than likely just be on it for one day. Woo, 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 woo. And instead, they found out that he was trying to wing me off of the ventilator. But every time he tried to wing me, I wasn't breathing on my own. So they felt like just giving my lungs more and more rest would eventually help my lungs to inflate and deflate like they supposed to. So I was on the ventilator from December 25th to January 4th. I didn't get released from the hospital until January 9th. I had to learn how to walk, talk, eat. My taste buds were gone. My throat was extremely scarred up and hurting. I couldn't scream. I couldn't, do my job because it required me to do a lot of talking. They require me not to do talking, because it sounded like that's how it went. Then it went from to sounding like a frog, like hello. You know what I'm saying? So I was going through the levels of trying to get my voice back or whatever. In the midst, I got in contact with a longtime friend. We got in contact with each other. We grew up on the same block. And I think because of her and the push that she was giving me, taking me out and, you know, taking me to her house or whatever, I feel like that encouraged me to like push forward. And I did. I did. And in the midst of me doing that, I moved in with her. I moved my children in, and that's where we stayed until my Section 8 got transferred over. And then I was able to find a place out there. And I just stayed out there in Masson, Illinois. That's where my family wanted me to be in the first place. I was down the street from my niece, and they just wanted me to stay because they wanted to be able to watch over me because it was scary for them. It was scary for them. And I understand. And I understand. I built up my strength. In 2014, I left. I came back to Decatur. I came back to Decatur single. I wasn't talking to nobody. I wasn't intending to talk to nobody. I wasn't none of that. I was just trying to get back to where I was at, get my Section 8 switched over. I had moved in with a lady that I went to church with, and that didn't work out well. Things were said and things were done. So um she didn't agree with where I was going to move to. Then I got accused of talking about her to her children and trying to, y'all see me doing this because I keep getting chapped lips in the corner of my mouth. Then I went on to trying to sleep with her fiance, and he was the one speaking to me. I wasn't speaking to him. First of all, he's not even my type. First of all, I most definitely wasn't finna have sex with him. If she wasn't dating him, he wasn't gonna tap this. No. What you think? What you thought? What you dreamed about? Cause that ain't it. It was wrong. So I wouldn't have did that anyway. But people get petty. And sometimes you gotta let people be people. Because you can't change people. Like real talk. You cannot change people. It don't work like that. So, you know, I I went on about my life, and I moved into an apartment. I got my kids in their own space, and we lived there for 4 or 5 years. I had met another guy, and I'm sent for him in Detroit, and he came and stayed with us, and we stayed together for the whole time. He moving into the new house with me, and that's what things went haywire. Um, because I found some things in his phone that wasn't a man's duty if he was in a relationship. He shouldn't have been doing that, right? Okay, I ain't by myself with that one. My ladies know what I'm talking about. But he was he didn't he didn't want to go to work. He didn't want to go to work. He didn't want to help pay no bills. He didn't want to um he just wanted to smoke. Now mind you, he was crazy about me. I ain't gonna lie. He was crazy about me. And he would do anything for me. But sometimes that ain't good enough. Just like people say love ain't good enough. Don't materialisticalize me because I've already been down that road. And that's why I got confused on what love is and what love requires. The consequences of loving. I already knew all of that. I wasn't trying to know it no more. Okay. So I ain't let that work. It worked for so long because I tried everything. I bought the stuff for him to sell it. I was doing everything. He didn't want or need for anything. So I really don't know what else I could have done. I couldn't even tell you what I done wrong. I can't tell you. But I know some kind of way, y'all finna take a walk with me. I know some type of way he got a hold of one of my friends that I went to elementary school with. And she had went out of town maybe to pick these cards up. I assume. Don't tell me no. Pick the cards up. Um. So he asked her why she didn't take him and all of this other crazy stuff, and it was like, hmm. Well, let me get in her inbox. So I got in her inbox, and I told her, girl, he lying. He's not finna give you no oral. He's not finna do nothing he said he gonna do. He don't got nothing. I take care of him, like for real. And she was like, okay, I apologize. I'm gonna block him. I said, ain't your fault. You ain't gotta apologize about nothing. It's not your fault. That's something that he chose to do on his own. You know, he chose to do that on his own. So, you know, the consequences of it, whatever the case may be. But I mean, she ended back up on his page anyway. She ended back up on this page anyway. Some women, I mean, I can say that about me too. Some women don't care about, you know, being with a broke man. And because of that, I started doing my own thing, and I got involved with somebody else. I did. And no, it wasn't a man. It was another woman that I got myself involved with because I had found out that my ex best friend and him were sending pictures back and forth, like new pictures, back and forth. So how was I supposed to feel about that? I wasn't. I wasn't supposed to feel no type of way. I let him have it. Whatever y'all want to do, y'all do it. And then come to find out she moved in his house. Okay. Okay, you helped out a homeless person because she was homeless. And she did have that son. And okay. But why my ex? Like, this is not your first time. This is not your second time. This is not your third time. But every single time I try to talk to somebody, you step in and you end up giving it to them and they forget all about me. Like, that's what you call a hater. That's a hater for sure. Are we friends today? No. Is it over a man? No. She couldn't be trusted. She could not be trusted. It wasn't no way that I was gonna be able to trust her anymore. And what she do is she get mad at you and then she began to tell everything she know. You can tell her some of your darkest um secrets, and she tell everything that you have said. And it's bothersome. It's like, what's wrong with you? Like, what is the purpose? I never get it. Like, no one is dogging you. No one is telling your business. None of that. Don't nobody even know me here. So you going around telling my business to everybody is doing what? Because don't nobody know me. But I vowed to myself, I'm gonna let that friendship go because sometimes you gotta let stuff go. And you gotta leave it where it's at. Like, some people ain't meant to go where you going. You know, and um you can stop. You can pray for a person and you can pray with the person and it could drain you. Why do it drain you? I'm glad you asked. Because if you get drained because you constantly praying for the same thing, this person ain't praying for themselves. And they steady complaining about how much pain they in, how much this they got, how much they can't pay this, and how this finna work. And it's just always something. And someone bring it to my mind that not all the time are they manipulators, but sometimes they can be bullies, on the down low, and they bully people into giving them what they want. And I just felt like she knew how to go about getting what she wanted from the people she wanted it from. As a matter of fact, from anybody that would give it to her. So I left that friendship alone after a while. I didn't bother with it anymore because I couldn't. I couldn't handle it. You know. Um I dated her brother. He was incarcerated, and I um I dated him, and horrible. Probably was the worst mistake I ever made in my life. Because when I tell you this person talked about me after all I had done for this person, like when I met him, he was incarcerated, right? So when he got out, I had everything: wardrobe, shoes. I kept buying shoes. I bought his mama shoes. I gave him money for his son's birthday. I didn't not knowing I was giving him money for a girl in jail that he said had been always been there for him. You know what I'm saying? Making it seem like she was his cousin and they didn't have no food and she couldn't feed her child. She just needed $20, and it was crazy. It was crazy. He talked to his baby mama in my face, in my house, and at some point it's like, what gives you the audacity to do something like that to somebody? Like, what's wrong with you? Nobody will ever be able to make sense of that. Nobody. I don't care. I messed up. And I was the fool. I ain't lying to you. I was the fool, and I can accept that. Because that's what I was. And he was verbally abusive too. Because one thing I know is that I'm not an ugly girl. I'm a big girl. But I'm not an ugly girl. And I'm not ugly enough where you have to have me or not put me on your social media because you're afraid that your friends is going to make fun of you because of who I am. Like, what? You sound foolish. Like, do you know I make you look good? Because you don't make me look good. Not at all. Now, I'm not that dumb. And I most definitely, um, I am not, again, I'm going to say, I am not just no tell me anything type of person. That's not what I do. That's not what I do. It's just not. And I wasn't gonna start doing it. Not at all. But those were old times. Do you move on or do you stick to them? A lot of my past has caused me to um, suffer through things like anxiety. I used to have anxiety real bad. Oh, y'all, hold on. I used to have anxiety real bad. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna give people the um the power. That's giving people power, you know. That's taken away from you. Because it was a horrible living. I was messed up. I was messed up. I really was. I really was. I was messed up. And I ain't gonna make like I wasn't. My children suffered. My children suffered for it. Um, uh, I can't really, some things you just can't get back. You will never get them back. You just won't get them back. It won't happen for you. And I lost some major um I lost some major moments with my children. I put my children through a lot of stuff. Um I went through a whole lot. I went through a whole lot, you know. So I know y'all probably wondering what I'm doing. I will be hosting a pop-up shop and to sell some of my products, which one day I'm going to take the time out and show you all the products that I have made. They're all natural. I don't use chemicals. Um, I'm not into Look, y'all, I can't get my words out because this thing just totally just blew me real bad. Know how you have something like you want it, and then it's this one piece that just won't do right. Lord have mercy. For one. But I'm sorry. Y'all can see all my junk. That's the product over there that you all see. This behind me is product as well. I am cluttered in with product. So please excuse me. um I'm getting some organization going so that I can organize and get myself together because when you plan something and it seems like it's far away, it don't really be far away. Like before you know it, that time will be here, you know. So I'm trying to get things done. I'm trying to get things done um, you know, before I begin to set up stuff. But y'all see me. What? Look at this. This is retarded. You see what I'm saying? Retarded. Why would you just fall like that? Okay, y'all seeing bloopers and all. Y'all seeing me put up Sweet Yanni. This is Yanni, and it's for my women, and I call it Sweet Yanni. Some is more potent than others because some just have roses in it and all the flowers. Others have all type of herbs in it. So I make two different kinds. So when I have my pop-up shop, you all already know for the ones that's close to me. For the ones that's not close to me, you can always get the information. I'm on TikTok. Um, I do post on Instagram. I post on Facebook. I post everywhere. I'm just trying to get my name out there. I need my name out there because that's the only way things happen for you. I make these type of things too. I think they so pretty. They tumblers. They keep your drink hot, cold. However, you know. So that's those are nice. Those are nice. Well, I went over my time a little bit, guys. About 5 minutes. I love you all, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And we will finish talking about friendships and relationships. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.